Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
A very good afternoon and welcome to VU Whitten Oval today for the round 14 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's clash between the Western Bulldogs and Essendon. It is the fourth place Bulldogs. Well, they were fourth prior to the other matches earlier today, up against Essendon in 10th place on the ladder. And we'll have a quick look at the results from around the grounds very shortly and find out where the Western Bulldogs are positioned prior to going into this game. And going into the round, they're in fourth spot. They have now dropped to sixth spot on the ladder due to the results today. Hawthorn victorious, Melbourne Uni victorious, and also Richmond having a win earlier today. So we'll run through those results with you during our pre-match coverage and right throughout our broadcast today. Broadcasting on VFL.com.au, the VFL app, and of course live and loud on SEN2. Joining us for the first time this season, firstly a very good afternoon to Peter Mercado.
Hello Anthony, it's good to be here. This is going to be an exciting game, although I am starting to contract hypothermia because I did the men's game earlier and it is rather cold and the rain's come. We had the whole men's game without any rain whatsoever and it's arrived here for the Swiss Wellness VFLW game. How does that work? You haven't planned this at all well.
No. Well, I have planned it well because I'm here in the commentary box and we're undercover. It's not the warmest of places, but hopefully our commentary will warm up our audience this afternoon because we do have a special guest joining us for the first half of today's game from the Western Bulldogs. She's on the sidelines at the moment. We'll find out a bit more about that injury. But Bonnie Toogood, welcome to the broadcast.
Hello, guys. Thanks for having me today.
Welcome on board. We'd much prefer to be seeing you out on the field.
Hey, hang on. Would you prefer to, when you're looking here and it's raining sideways, be honest, are you happy that you're up here with us, or would you like to be running around in 12 degrees raining sideways?
Look, if I'm completely honest, I'd like having the roof over me right now. But also, throughout the game, my competitive nature will come out and I'll be like, damn, I wish I was playing today. Yeah. So it's bittersweet, but I do love that we're undercover at the moment.
So we don't have that competitive spirit, do we,
No.
Anthony? We're very happy undercover here.
Very much. We always look for the place with the most warmth or the most undercover nature for our broadcast positions. Bonnie, ankle. Give us an update.
So in that Carlton game, I hurt my ankle and I thought it was going to be a couple of weeks. And turns out it's longer than that. Syndesmosis injury. So out of the moon boot now for a couple of weeks, and I think I might be running on Monday. Don't want to jinx it or anything, but I'm pretty excited about that to run on some firm ground.
Oh, hopefully we haven't upset the ankle too much by making you walk up 3 levels of stairs today.
Yeah, look, it's struggling.
Did you walk up the stairs? I took the lift, Anthony.
Well, I was hoping that the lift would be available. I took the stairs just for a bit of exercise, but our next guest for the second half of today's game, Courtney Ugle, I was hoping the lift is operational because she also has an ankle injury.
Oh, good.
So we've brought in
well done.
all the sideline players with ankle injuries, but she's still on her crutches. So,
oh, no.
Yes, fingers crossed that lift is working for her. Important game, we must say, for the Western Bulldogs today, Bonnie, especially with those other results for the Bulldogs to win today and get back into that top 4 position.
It is. It's kind of a little bit like a must-win today, and I'm sure the girls, that's at the back of their minds, but not something that we really want to focus on for, as a pre-game pep-up kind of thing. We want to keep that out of the way because we just want to go out and play today in this lovely windy Whitten weather and just focus on the game at hand. The first 5 minutes really is what we want to focus on.
Any sort of advantage playing in these conditions? Because you would get this regularly out this way. We've seen it over the years. Any sort of advantage in terms of being able to play the conditions? Obviously, it's a bigger ground here at the VU Whitten Oval, and it can take teams a little while to get used to the conditions out here. Any advantage, particularly in the first quarter?
I think because we train here every week, so every time we train, so I think that is an advantage. But it's also wet weather footy and windy footy can also be hard either way anyway. So it is an advantage, but we'll just see how Essendon comes out, don't they? They train at Windy Hill, so windy, so it might be actually a good game in this weather.
Still, we take the positive. We're not at Downer Oval in Williamstown, Anthony. And I got to say, your scoreboard's looking fantastic. We love that in the men's game. There's no way you can miss what the score is.
No, I'm surprised it hasn't fallen down with this wind yet.
Well, we're underway here at VU Whitten Oval. And it is McMahon with the tap down in the middle for the Bulldogs. We were mentioning before we came on air the number of long sleeve jumpers were worn by the Bulldogs today, and here's one of them. McLeod goes to Lachlan, inside forward 50, left forward pocket, kick off the ground, heads towards the boundary line. Will the umpire be able to call deliberate? Oh, he has. He has called deliberate.
Really? In these conditions?
I thought it was just a simple kick, but umpire disagrees as Lachlan elects to go down the corridor looking for a target. Warburton leading in the race for the football. Kicks it to defensive 50. Alofi now over the football, trying to keep the ball towards goal for the Bulldogs. Here's another opportunity for the Bulldogs as they push forward. Moving in over the football as well. Gogos also in the long sleeves today. Was been the topic of conversation, especially at AFL level over the last 24 hours. So good to see no bans on them here in VFL Women's. What an assist in the goal square. Oh, you'd have to say that's a centering kick. And on the Tuesday scoreboard, it is Western Bulldogs 1 goal straight, 6 Essendon yet to score. And what a cross and goal assist.
That does not surprise me from Brooke Lachlan. Look at that, a bit of soccer skills on your Saturday afternoon. Look at that, straight through the middle.
That's unbelievable. We're seeing it again on our replay screen here. The right place at the right time, but it was just beautifully brought in.
Gavalis with the cross.
And then, being held onto by one arm.
It's like a corner in soccer, hey? Yeah. Look at that, perfect.
I was wondering what sport we were actually playing there for a while. Well, I reckon that might ease its way into the plays of the week, would it not, Anthony?
I think it will.
Yeah,
yes.
We could almost lock that one in. We haven't seen the other games this round, but that's going to be number one for mine as the Bombers look to go forward, but it's turned over. And Spark just holding things together for the Bulldogs. 1 straight 6 plays no score. Ferris takes the mark at defensive 50. And they're just going to work around the Doug Hawkins wing. We saw that in the earlier game today. The Guest takes the mark and we'll just look to move it up the line. Moody got hands to it for Footscray, but it looks to have been turned over. Not for long because it's a stalemate. We will have it tossed up on that Doug Hawkins wing. So rain, sun, rainbows, we've got the whole lot out here. Miraculous goals. It's been an interesting start to this one. The ball right near the boundary line and it will go over. We will have it thrown in. We've got 3 minutes on the clock in this opening quarter. 12 degrees, but feels like it is under 10 degrees. I could tell you that firsthand. 1 straight 6, the Bulldogs, Essendon yet to score.
Out of side here at VU Whitten Oval. It's Moody versus Nolder. Just got to do a number check today with Nolder having worn the 0 last week for the towards 0 round. Comes out to Spark. Spark along the outer side wing, looking up towards Berry territory. Ball goes over the line and be a free kick going the way of the Bombers. So Kendra Heil has got the job on Berry. Goes into one of the players that was best on ground, Nans Corn for the Bombers. Can she just keep it in play? No, she can't. The free kick will go the way of Blackburn for the Bulldogs. And it must be pleasing, Bonnie, to see a few of these AFLW names return to the Bulldogs lineup over last month.
It definitely is. It's given us a little bit of a spark there. We had a few games where we didn't have too many AFL girls in. It's nice to have them back and playing some good footy. They are wearing the long sleeve. Don't know if they need to toughen up, but I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, well, they'll watch the replay back and just expect a few comments on the training track. But probably a good thing that you're not actually on the training track at the moment. So
No, I'm not.
So if you're planning to run,
Don't rub it in.
If you're planning to run, I'd probably do a solo session this week. Just not get with the main group.
No, I'm going to stay in my trackies and hide.
So Blackburn here has got off the footy. 48 out, goes with a long high ball and then through for a behind. It's 1-1-7, plays no score on the Choose Tap scoreboard. The Swiss Wellness VFL Women's today, the last match of the round. We're finished getting it all done on a Saturday, Anthony, but I'll tell you what, exciting heading up to finals time, and the announcement during the week, Anthony, that the grand finals this year on the men's and the women's side are going to be played at Icon Park rather than Marvel Stadium, and I think roundly been praised by a lot of people around the league, and certainly me as well. I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, it has been, and the Bulldogs no strangers to Icon Park, especially come finals time and grand finals as well.
Yes, it's a really nice oval. I actually love playing there, to be honest. It's fantastic. And I think it brings back that community feel. That's what VFL is all about. So I think it's awesome that it's down there at Icon.
Well, I think the thing is, if you get a crowd of about 15,000, 16,000, it'll feel like it's pretty full. I mean, 25,000 capacity at Icon?
Correct.
Yeah, so you get it up to capacity, 20,000. It's just going to be an amazing atmosphere and a weekend of community footy there.
Yeah, it's going to be great with the NAB League Boys Grand Final on the Saturday in that contest. We'll run you through the around the ground scores from matches earlier today from round 14 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. Ball up inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs. 49-point victors Darebin over Williamstown today. It was a 14-point win by Melbourne Uni, consolidating their spot in the top 6, defeating Geelong. It was 3-point winners, Hawthorn over the Casey Demons, and big winners today. Richmond have returned to the winners list over recent rounds as the Bulldogs go forward over the head of Lachlan. What can she do now? Tackle her opponent, but great work out of defence that time by Patrikios. Her second game of the season for the Bombers. Was missing last week with the AFL Women's Academy camp. Back into the lineup this week along with Sophie Molan for the Western Bulldogs. So ball on the outer side. Currently a lead of 7 points to the Western Bulldogs.
Sarah Jolly just hobbling in back play too for the Bulldogs. Inside attacking 50.
So goes inside forward 50 now. Here's a chance for the Bombers. Spark gets it forward, but free kick's been paid and it will go the way of the Bulldogs.
Jolly, at the moment, got the trainer alongside, but it's sort of slowly making her way off the ground. Might need to get into the play if the ball comes down the field here. It won't. It'll be locked in. Eventually, no. The Bombers, chance to take the ball away. Frew kicks inside the 50 and it's been turned over. Wallace picks it up. Handball kick across. Rudin. And Jolly has now made it to the bench. There's a slow walk across. I think the teammates help by locking the ball down the other end of the ground. It's near the boundary line. Should have gone over. Hasn't. As we see the Bombers, so through again, just pushed off the kick. Now it goes over the line. We will have it thrown in. As Jolly makes her way to the interchange bench and will hopefully run that out. And we had, during the previous game, we thought about a 4-goal breeze to the left of screen or left of your radio dial. It looks like it hasn't really died off at all, the conditions this afternoon, Anthony.
No, certainly hasn't. Tapped down in the ruck that time, McMahon. Her and Moody taking over the ruck duties today for the Bulldogs. Free kicks found and it will go the way of the Bulldogs. That final result, a 48-point win to Richmond over Carlton. So back-to-back wins for the Tigers. They're back on the winners list and back up the ladder as well. Betts couldn't bring down the mark, under plenty of pressure on the broadcast side wing. Berry under pressure as well. Now comes to the back of Arliss. Tackled to the ground and the umpire will come in and we'll have a ball up. Considering the conditions, Bonnie, this is pretty much the sort of footy we were going to expect this afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. Wet weather, windy. That's what we're going to get in Melbourne's winter.
A lot of stoppages.
Congested footy, but we love it.
Frew trying to push the ball inside forward 50. Collier attacking the football as well for the Bombers inside their forward 50 now. Looking for their first score of this game. Bombers last week in our video stream game coming off a heartbreaking 2-point defeat to the Southern Saints. They led for 3.5 quarters and overran by the Saints in the final term. Kate Sheelaw, the main instigator of that final term comeback for the Saints, and rewarded at the end of the week with a spot on the St Kilda list. Kick forward, DiMatteo. Long, watch the bounce on this one. Spark getting back, and she'll just be happy to see it over the line and through for one behind. So the first score on the board for the Bombers, 1 behind 1 point. Western Bulldogs at 1-1-7. Bonnie, who's the players that have taken over the defensive role from yourself with on the sidelines?
I definitely with Spark coming back. I think it was literally the game after mine that she was coming back after I got injured. So she's been a real anchor down there for us. Also Mua, she's come back from an ACL and she's running off half-back really nicely. So we're still quite solid down back, especially Ashley Guest over as well. So
you were looking good up forward as well. Just dropping the mark, Sandrell, but did well just to create the contest and lock that ball in. And we have another stalemate deep into attack here for the Western Bulldogs. Got to switch my terminologies over. 1-1-7. The Western Bulldogs playing Essendon, one behind.
There was a tackle on Berry just then, and she didn't even have the ball.
Midway through the opening quarter, 20-minute flat quarters in Swiss Wellness VFL Women's. The ball spilling free. McLeod to pick it up, dragged down in the tackle. Still got the numbers here, the Western Bulldogs, but can't get clear. Good defensive pressure from the Bombers. Should eventually allow them to release the footy. It is really hard and tough to get anything going. Hard to try and clear the space for Essendon. They've moved it into the middle of the ground. More on just sheer will and force than anything else. And we've got an over-the-shoulder free, which will go the way of the Western Bulldogs. Marshall. Now, he had a couple driving by there. Gavalis picks it up. Now the ball into the teeth of goal, and again another stalemate. Their ball will be thrown up by the umpire.
Must be pleasing to see Danielle Marshall back out on the park as well. Spent a bit of time overseas waiting for the return visit, and back out there now.
Oh, it's fantastic to have her from all the way from the USA. It's lovely. She's such a fast, agile player, so it's really good to add that to our team at the moment.
Sandra goes long. Oh, Lachlan off
on the knee.
She just needed to remember those soccer skills on that occasion. Under pressure, but great work. The Bulldogs pushing the ball forward again. And it was probably during that run of outs between round 6 to 8, it was what the Bulldogs were lacking. I think Michaela Ward was on the sidelines as well, and you missed a bit of forward line firepower. We did. We needed someone down there just to anchor us in the forward line. We could always get it up there, but we just couldn't convert on the scoreboard or keep it in our forward 50. So now with Brooke back, Michaela Ward back, it's really lovely to have those anchoring players down there. Yeah, and you look at Ward and Marshall, and they're both still leading the goal kicking for the Bulldogs, even despite their time on the sidelines. So we'll keep an eye on them during the broadcast today. Molan over the football. The GWV Rebel in for her second game of the season. Free kick found, and it will go the way of Wilson. So Wilson in defence for the Bombers. The team trails by 7 points. Just over halfway through this first term. Molan sees it over the line, and we'll see a boundary throw in.
The sun's come out again.
It's great to see.
But I'm looking at the weather that's coming across and thinking, no, I'm going to look over at the blue sky.
We'll just ignore that for the moment. It's probably about the time that Bonnie will be heading back down to the sidelines to watch the second half, which will be certainly unfortunate for you, Bonnie.
Oh, I might just stay up here,
We'll see whether Courtney Ugle can get the headset off you for the second half. Might be a bit of a battle.
Good to listen to what we're doing, but also to keep your ears warm.
Yeah.
These headsets come in very handy.
They are. It's 7-point lead to the Bombers. 13.5 minutes gone, first turn.
Yeah, ball thrown in just slightly into attack for the Western Bulldogs as it spills free. Wilson to get hands to it, kicked away. Now Jolly back out on the ground, copped a bit of a knock in the opening 10 minutes, but is back out there. Good to see. Marshall just trying to hack it forward, and Molan at the bottom of the pack for the Western Bulldogs, and we'll have it thrown up. Inside 50. The Bombers trailing here, but it is a close contest. Wet conditions. The VU Whitten Oval. Audley for the Essendon side just trying to paddle it forward, and this is the intriguing part of this. Who can actually get clear? Who can break clear of the contest? Was Betts at the bottom of that pack. Still managed to get the ball out. Molan sees it over and we'll have it thrown in. 55 around from the the Western Bulldogs goal.
You'll get there, Pete. You've got 3 more quarters
You keep switching the team names on me. This is what's going to happen.
It's like our Hawthorn and Box Hill Hawks double-headers.
Yes.
Always difficult. Carlton, Northern Blues.
Well, you try and make sense of it then, Anthony.
I certainly will. Ball at half-back for the Bombers. They're trying to get it back into their forward half. Trapping the ball, Collier. Team of the week last week in a forward pocket. Play on, says the umpire. Trying to get it now out to Spark. Over the top, taken too high. And McLeod will take the free kick. Ferris, I should say. Just saw the 6. Ferris now up towards centre-half forward. Nolder has filled the gap for the Bombers. Goes in short. Finds her teammate in Nanscorn. Best on ground last week. Still not a fan of the new 50-metre rule, but continues to be paid, and it is players do know about it. McIntosh is found 45 metres out from goal. Now centering kick straight down the corridor off the chest of the Bombers, and clearing kick. Here's another chance for them. Ahrens. Ball now on the Lofi. Kicked out wide to the outer side. 2-on-1 contest. Now's a chance for the Bulldogs, but good work by the Bombers. Hosking working hard for the Bombers. Lachlan again got the ball forward. McIntosh now. Nanscorn round the corner. Olofi all by herself in the centre circle, and will push the Bulldogs back into attack again, or chooses to go wide.
Yeah, either way, the options were good. August picked it up and continues to get the Bulldogs inside the 50. And they've been here for a little while. Lachlan picked it up, was dragged down in the tackle, and the umpire will throw it up inside 50. 1-2-8, Western Bulldogs, Essendon 1 behind. We've played 16 and a half minutes, so 3.5 to go in this opening quarter. Ball tossed back up, Moody from position for the Bulldogs. Just lost a handle on it, but still plenty of numbers here. McLeod kicks the ball back inside 50 and finds Lachlan, who's been lively early, Bonnie.
Yeah, she has. She always is lively. Her work rate is unreal on those 2-kilometre time trials. She's just lapping everyone. Fantastic play she is. I really liked then how the Bulldogs actually moved the ball from the middle of the ground, using the width of the ground and then working it in. It was really nice to use those angles and get an uncontested mark inside 50.
Yep, kicked an amazing goal earlier in the quarter, and now has kicked a bit more conventional. Her second, 2-2-14, the Western Bulldogs, Essendon 1 behind, and we've played 17 minutes in this first quarter on the Choose Tap scoreboard.
Bonnie, just tell us a bit about the Western Bulldogs forward line structure. We talked about Michaela Ward and Danielle Marshall being the main cogs, but Sarah Jolly has played the 10 games this season and has also been one of those integral parts to the forward line structure. Definitely,
there's been games where she's had a few bags of goals, and she's just a really dynamic player. You don't really know how she'll get a goal, but sometimes she spins out of a contest or whatever it is. She's really quite a fantastic player, and really, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but it's just she's really good and just comes up with these fantastic ways to kick goals, and it's unreal.
Mercurial?
Yeah, I like that. That's a good word.
I'll go with mercurial for Jolly today. Ball back in the middle.
I'll think of it.
That's my contribution for the afternoon.
Is Blackburn. The mercurial
there
Jolly around the corner. Kicks out towards half forward Lalofi now. Kick goes wayward. Will it come off? It does. McLeod goes long to the forward pocket looking for Lachlan. 1-on-1 contest. Good work that time by Barber. Barber in for her second game. Another Nablee girls recruit from the Calder Cannons. A couple of them playing for the Bombers today. Patrikios and also Barber. And Felicity Theodore also in the lineup today. So Theodore on her debut as 23rd player. And the boundary throw-in. Good work that time to try and extract it by the Bombers. At defensive 50 for Essendon. Over the ball, Blackburn. Ball going nowhere. We'll have another ball up. So 2-2-14 Western Bulldogs. Essendon 1 behind 1 point. So good opportunity for the Bulldogs with the win today to go back up the ladder. Berry gets the ball off. They go goalward now. Offline to the right-hand side and through for one behind. It's another blemish on the board for the Bulldogs. 2-3-15. One behind, 1 point for Essendon. And Bonnie just missing a couple of opportunities over the last few minutes, the Bulldogs.
We are. We're liking that outer wing, that far wing out there. We just need to aim for that left-hand side goal, bring it over. But still, we're surging it forward, so that's really positive signs. As soon as we start hitting the scoreboard, it'll be really exciting stuff.
Oh, no, another 50. Another 50 for not giving the ball back on the full.
Oh, no.
And the siren's going to go anyway. They wanted to get moving quickly, the Bombers, and that was smart in the end. You might as well give away the 50 because it eats up time. 2-3-15, the Western Bulldogs at quarter time. Essendon one behind. And Brooke Lachlan with the only 2 goals of the game so far. It's a 14-point lead, Anthony, to the Western Bulldogs, the home team.
Bonnie, your thoughts on that first term?
Oh, it was really exciting footy at the start, especially when it was raining. You kind of change the way you play, and it's a bit more surging it forward, but it started to dry up a little bit, so we saw a little bit more of our gameplay for the Bulldogs come in. But the Essendon defence did hold up quite well, considering there were a lot of inside 50 entries for the Bulldogs, and the Essendon backline actually did really well, so it was really good.
Just for our video stream watchers, they're currently watching the highlights. They've just seen the Brooke Lachlan goal. Once again, the soccer in the goal square. The win before the bye, was that important for the confidence of the group?
Yeah, definitely. Most of our wins this year haven't been of a large margin. So it was really nice to get that confidence that, hey, we can get it inside 50 and we can score big. I think that was one thing that our group needed to get that confidence, and we really did against the NT. And really good footy that was, actually, down in Ballarat.
At quarter time, it is the Western Bulldogs 2-3-15, 14-point leaders over Essendon, one behind, 1 point on the Choose Tap scoreboard. We're going to take a break here from VU Whitten Oval, and we'll be back after the break with a big second term of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's right after this.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Yeah. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
There you go.
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your hard yakka totally workwear VFL club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coach's huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Welcome back to VU Whitten Oval, round 14 Swiss Wellness. VFL Women's Action live here on VFL.com.au, the VFL app, and of course SEN2. Running you through some of the results from earlier today. Big winners today were the Darebin Falcons over Williamstown, kept them goalless, 49-point winners. Melbourne Uni consolidating their spot in the top 6 with a 14-point win over Geelong. Hawthorn did it tough against the Casey Demons, 3-point winners over them on their home turf. And as we mentioned, Richmond, 48-point winners over Carlton, back-to-back wins for the Tigers. And Bonnie, too good with us this afternoon, along with Peter Mercado and myself, Anthony Stangetz. Bonnie, the finals race really heating up, and that result between Melbourne Uni and Geelong crucial. It probably cuts out all the numbers barring Geelong outside of the top 6 now that are finals chances.
Wow, it is. It puts a huge importance on this game for us then today. With our lead at the moment, hopefully we can keep it going, but it is football and it is Melbourne weather, so we don't know what is going to happen in the next half, but I have the utmost confidence in the girls today.
Yeah,
so let's see.
For anyone that's just tuned in, the Western Bulldogs dropped from 4th spot down to 6th with those results today. But depending on percentage, I'm not too sure that they can make up 19% on Richmond. But if the Bulldogs do win today, they would move from 6th back into that 4th spot.
Yes. Well, talking about percentage in the previous game, we had a change around of about 22%. So
there you go.
Ooh.
It's
just win by 100.
Hey, anything's possible, guys.
Win by 100. I mean, it's 14 points at the moment, the margin. I'm sure the Bombers will have a bit to say about that. The ball tossed back in. We're away in this second quarter. And we'll talk about the structure of the finals too in a moment, as Audley kicking out to the Doug Hawkins wing, out to space, and now Covery arrives. Spark will see that ball over. We will have it thrown in on the true centre wing position. The finals and how they're going to be structured. We talked about the grand final beat at Icon Park, Anthony, but the lead-up finals...
You must have read my mind, because I just had a segue there, because it's 1v2 in a qualifying final, and then 2 elimination finals, 3v4 and 5v6. And it just so happens if the Bulldogs win today and move back to 4th spot, it would be 3rd versus 4th. Third versus 4th next week. Yes. Bulldogs taking on the Tigers. So what a finals preview that would be.
As we've got another pack forming here, just edge of the square on centre wing, and the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. It does add the level of interest. It has grown over the years, this Swiss Wellness VFLW competition. And a lot of those finals to be played at Port Melbourne as well, as Deanna Berry gets onto the footy, the kick up towards half forwards. Warburton deciding to punch rather than go for the mark. Interesting decision. Now it spills free. Plenty of Bulldog numbers around the footy, but they just can't break clear. And now an opportunity for the Bombers. Hull just throwing it onto the boot, a high ball, and Frew takes the mark. Goes on with it, the kick up towards centre wing, and that's another strong mark. McIntosh. And you get something going for the Bombers. Doug Hawkins wing. And then outer side. The kick. It's a high ball to 2-on-2. There's going to be a push out. It's going to be a free kick going the way of the Bulldogs. And Ferris to take it.
Bonnie, we talked about the injury during the first quarter. For yourself and recovery, you mentioned back to some running. Is your thought process the short term or the long term for coming back? Are you thinking VFLW or looking more towards AFLW season?
Look, I'm going to probably push the physios for a potential VFLW return, but I've got to think probably a little bit more realistic about it all, and I want to be firing for AFL. Even though I love playing with the VFL girls and showing some form through here, I really do want to focus on AFL and make sure that, because it is a funny ankle injury, I want to make it that it's 100% because I don't want any issues later on down the track. So we'll see. I'll probably push for it, but I'm got to be realistic about it and don't get my hopes up.
And it is a difficult scenario because of the short length of the AFLW season. You do need to be ready for kind of when it starts next February.
It is such a huge break for us, so we still need to play, and we need to get like that playing experience through the VFL program, and it's such a great standard at the moment too for us to do that. But yeah, we have to think smart about it and have good programs in place. So
Sandrell picks it up off to Lachlan. Lachlan running inside the 50, trying to square up the footy, kicking to no one in particular. Trying to get in there is Jolly, just taken away from the footy, and a chance for the Bombers to clear. A high ball as it makes its way out towards the centre wing position. It's a dangerous footy, but the Bombers have possession. Fogus, who kicks into the middle of the ground and proceeds to turn the footy over. Now let's see the Bulldogs, what they can do on the transition. Ferris kicking a ball deep inside the 50. Lachlan again has the front position. Turning her opponent inside out. Again squaring up the footy. Selfless sort of stuff. Blackburn put the hands up, couldn't complete the mark. And now it's a bit of a stalemate. The players piling in on top. No one can get clear, and the umpire will throw it up. 2-3-15, the Western Bulldogs. Essendon one behind. 5 minutes gone in the second quarter.
Bonnie, is Brooke Lachlan starting to be kind of too selfless?
Oh,
centering those kicks.
You do if you what is it? You're damned if you do, and you.
Almost.
Oh.
She almost put together the package for the number one spot this week on the Plays of the Week.
Yeah, top 5. Why don't we go from them all, not just one?
So,
but you're a little bit damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you're in that selfless role, potentially she could go for it, but also Blackie was wide open there at the top of the goal square, so you kind of be selfless and go for that.
It's interesting where the ball's been given off, because she could have run in at least 10 or 15 metres more, but decided to square back inside the 50 around that 45-metre mark, as we see the Bombers just hacking it forward, really, getting hands to it. Strempnell and brought down. The umpire will come in, throw the ball up, edge of the square.
And probably those
attacking side for Essendon.
Last 5 minutes where we've seen Lachlan lead out, that is what we know her for, and how that delivery would come to her. Low, and she just does the rest, either kind of centering the ball or going for goal from the pockets.
You do want to isolate her just because she is such a powerful one-on-one player, and you kind of back her in every time. So we do like to isolate her out back, not trying to give anything away, obviously, but it's pretty clear on the footage where she is.
Certainly is.
So, yeah, she's unreal. She's playing really well today. Let's see how she keeps going.
So the ball here into the path of Jolly on the Doug Hawkins wing, just being harassed off it by Hosking. Plenty of Bombers numbers around the footy. A little dribbling ball. Cavallis picks it up. The kick heading forwards. Opportunity here to see if they can pick it up. Collier, who did nice work to give it off to a teammate. The kick into the pocket. And it is over the line. Trying to take the mark is Quigley. And just fumbled it over the line under pressure. We will have it thrown in.
That's a great matchup, because Alex Quigley's been dangerous for the Bombers over recent weeks. Has had a spot in the team of the week the last couple as well, and has certainly they've sent spark to her. As ball on the outer side, Jolly just out in front of her, and the free kick will go the way of the Bombers. So Kendra Heil to take it. 15-point lead to the Bulldogs.
7.5 minutes into the second quarter.
So ball now heading towards half forward again for the Bombers. They like to use whatever their advantage is to the left of screen during this term. And the Bulldogs making sure that they're have to earn it. Good tackle, and a free kick will go the way of the Bombers. Patrikios will take it. Will go inside forward 50, directing traffic. Goes long into the corridor. Standing there was Blackburn. Ball at ground level now. They get the ball to the back. Blackburn again. Goes out wide. Moving it now off the half-back line. Up towards the outer side wing. The Doug Hawkins wing again. Another opportunity for the Bombers. High up and under kick. Doesn't really sit for anyone. Ashley Cooper in the vicinity, trying to get her hands on the football. But again, the Bulldogs kicking towards the middle
Bulldogs
of the
play it
ground.
down behind plate.
Keep an eye on that at half forward again for Essendon. Good fierce tackling and overzealous this time, and the free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs at half back.
I think it might be Ashley Guest, the player there, Bonnie. The
Yeah.
ball's heading back in that direction.
Can see her with her white boots on. She's a tough cookie. She'll be all right. I think she just got a little hit to the ribs, which is always a painful one, but she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
Yeah, and in the cold too. I reckon it counts for double the pain factor with that. The ball's been cut off. Nelda picked it up for the Bombers, taking the intercept mark. Now they work it up towards half forward. Theodore to run onto it. Oh, did well. Broke away. The kick, though, is going to be cut off. Heading towards goal was a long way out. Somewhat ambitious. And Rudin takes the mark. Last line of defence for the Bulldogs. Oh, dangerous, though, because the pass wasn't great. Now a chance. You might get another go. Here's a chance for the Bombers to kick their first, and it's into the post. Quigley. Oh, boy, they had an opportunity there. They got their second behind. Their first score in the quarter. It's taken 9 minutes and 40 seconds. And the Western Bulldogs 2-4-16, Essendon 2 behinds. So we head to the halfway mark of the second quarter, Anthony.
Yeah, Spark takes it. There'll be a free kick. Is it off the ball? No. So Spark goes long on the outer side. And Essendon will rampage back into attack. They do so now. Centering kick straight down the corridor. McIntosh, but good, strong mark taken. And the Bulldogs bring it back out to this broadcast side wing. Wilds. What she got to kick to. She's got the options. Evades the tackler. Wobbly kick along this broadcast side wing. Lachlan didn't think that it was going to get over the back of the pack. It did. Now uses her skills. Dispossessed. Ball right in front of our broadcast position. And
high tackle, is it?
Yeah,
Yep.
It is. Free kick will go the way of the Bombers in Stepnell. Great work from Hayley Wilds from defence end, Bonnie.
Yeah, definitely. I love Hayley Wilds. She has this little thing where she likes to sell a little bit of candy. She did it there, evaded a tackle. But no, she's such a underrated player and such a smart one. But, it could be on here.
Michaela Ward to Sandrell. Sandrell inside forward 50. Lachlan at the back of the pack. She will eat this one up round the corner. Goes goalward and off hands from the Bombers. Svark on the last line and through for another behind.
Is this Lachlan's paddock or something? Because she's
It's her
taken
work
that
rate,
mark.
honestly.
And goal side, there's no one in front of her.
Yeah.
Everyone's just cleared out to give her that space.
Yeah, that's the way we like to operate with her because she can outrun any opponent, and we're seeing that very clearly today. And she just is a workhorse, can work and work all day long.
I just remember she was part of that piece of play here on the wing before, and I think she sprinted past all her teammates to get back down to that forward pocket.
Now, Spark's taken the mark here for Essendon, putting the ball into the middle of the ground, but it looks like it's going to come straight back in for the Bulldogs. Running towards the 50, or towards centre half forward. Again, it's just hard for anyone to pick up the footy. As soon as they pick it up, they're immediately tackled. We've seen a bit of fumbling in the slippery conditions as well. Anscorn did well just to get that ball out to some sort of space. Collier there, whose kick up the line is a good one. And they're going to build again, the Bombers. There's McIntosh's kick. Nope, it's being turned over again. And Wilds takes the mark. Doug Hawkins wing out aside. 17 plays 2. Bulldogs leading over the halfway mark of this second quarter. And now ball heading up between wing and half forwards. Opportunity again for Lachlan. Watch for her again, because if the Bulldogs happen to get their hands on it, she's going to get on her bike and get down there very quickly. But Nanscorn, nice clearing kick for the Bombers, and they've just got a little bit of a reprieve here. As the ball goes long from Collier up towards half forward. Packer players around this. Farah's making a nuisance of herself for the Western Bulldogs, and they might come up with it. I think they will in the end. Cavalis was involved in that passage of play. The kick heading up towards centre wing now. A long ball inside the 50. Oh, a bit of a push out from Blackburn. No call from the umpire. Did well to create some space, but just can't pick up the footy. Got plenty of teammates running alongside. Here's Lachlan again, around a tackler. Trying to go sort of banana style, putting it up towards the teeth of goal. Ward there as well. And now the cavalry arrive for the Bombers. A good tackling pressure from Blackburn. We will have it thrown up deep into attack for the Bulldogs. They lead 2-5-17 to 2 behinds, 13 and a half gone in this second quarter.
It's been great watching the Bombers' back line being able to... We'd seem like we're out, the Doggies, but then they seem to come with all their numbers and stop it, so it's really great to see by the Bombers.
Yeah, good defensive pressure again by the Bombers. Blackburn now. Can the Bulldogs get a score inside their forward 50? Tackle wild. I don't think her opponent had the ball and the umpire agrees.
No, the ball was about 150 metres away. Not to exaggerate, but it was a fair way away.
I think she got excited because she's down in the forward line.
You mentioned about the defence of the Bombers, and Alana Barber up from Calder Cannons, playing her second game at VFL level, and she's had to line up on Ali Blackburn and Brooke Lachlan. Where's the baptism of fire for you?
Oh, look, it's the best way to learn, hey? Playing one of the couple of the best players in AFLW, so why not?
Oh, certainly is Blackburn. Here she is again, round the corner. Kicks wide, too wide, and out of bounds in the left forward pocket. We will have a boundary throw-in.
I mean, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? That, you know, these young players who are coming through playing already established AFLW, let alone VFLW players and stars for the team. It is a great learning experience, but you do see in terms of the bodywork of Lachlan and Blackburn, just... you know, it gives you a good sighter as to where you need to get your game to be able to play at the highest level. And we're seeing the Bulldogs trapping the ball inside the 50 again. That might have been a high tackle. It was. Free kick going Essendon's way.
Also shows the importance of strength
yes.
and all of that. With Blackie's strength, it's unreal.
So this kick, well, it's not the greatest. And here's Lachlan again. The handball intended for Spark, didn't quite hit her. And now an opportunity ball back into the middle of the ground. Again, the Bulldogs first to the footy. It's a high up and under kick. Working hard there, Danielle Marshall for the Bulldogs. But there's Bomber numbers around this footy. Dangerous, Audley involved in that passage of play. Now the Bombers finally have some space. It could be picked up by Frew, dragged down in the tackle. No call, said the umpire. Hearns picked it up and then lost a handle on it, and Mackay coming through. And the kick going inside 50 is being cut off again. Let's see what the Bombers can do this time. It's getting very dark out there at the moment, Anthony, even with the lights on.
Yeah, good work by Barber. They get along to that outer side wing. McIntosh didn't take the mark. Plays on now. Can she kick it forward? Free kick. Didn't have the football and has been rewarded on that outer side.
4 minutes to go in this quarter.
Cecilia McIntosh showing her experience in that contest. Kicks in short, looking for a tall target. Good defensive work that time from Molan at half forward for the Bombers. Here's an opportunity for them, but the Bulldogs will repel once again. Have it on defensive 50. Oh, good smart kick goes wide. Finds Gogos. She's got her teammate on this broadcast side wing. One-on-one contest. Great. Got it by the ponytail, and Marshall will receive the free kick.
Pretty sure that's a free kick.
I haven't seen that too often in all my times of calling women's football, but just missed a jumper on that occasion. Inside forward 50. Plenty of laughs from up here on the balcony.
I love the reaction.
And Lachlan again, centering kick. Who'll win the foot race for the football? Gogley leads it for the Bombers, goes out wide. 2-on-1 contest. What can McIntosh do up against Ferrers on the outer side? Ferrers, great work. Back towards forward 50. No mark taken. Here's a chance for the Bulldogs. They go long to full forward. The roles reversed in that contest, but Lachlan at the back, tackled to the ground as she kicked it. Now good work again from Marshall. They'll be happy to concede the behind, and they do. The Bulldogs 2-6-18. Essendon 3 behinds, 2 behinds, 2 points. So we just see the replay. Marshall just, I think she was shocked, wasn't she, Bonnie?
It would have been quite painful, shouldn't it? What would have been happening?
So, dear oh dear. Do you reckon that one's going to get a run on the tape this week, the review?
Oh, potentially, maybe like a blooper or something.
Well, the ball's still stuck inside the Bulldogs 50, and the Bombers really doing everything they can to try and get it out of there. Tricos, the handball out now. The kick is going to be turned over again. McMahon getting hands to it. The handball off is a dangerous one, but they've still got the numbers, and this is the key thing in this second quarter. We're still on 50 for the Western Bulldogs, and Spark is going to send them back inside, but it's an untidy kick. And defensive Bombers mark taken by Audley, who kicks across the ground to Cornish. Still in defensive 50. Now they just exit. Audley again just trying to find some space. And the Bombers, in fact, it's not Audley, it's Nanscorn. Can't get those two mixed up, and now the ball's being turned over. As McMahon takes the mark for the Bulldogs and sends them forward. And now some movement again for the Bulldogs, but again it is dangerous play, this sort of running and playing on with not too many options up ahead. And with a minute to go in the quarter, we'll have the ball thrown up on 50 for the Bulldogs. They lead 18-2, ticking down towards half-time. At half-time, we're going to hear from Matty Kerrick, Anthony.
Yes, Geelong VFL and AFLW player joined us on SEN during the week. Last chance for the Bulldogs for this term. McLeod, oh, great work. Needs to be rewarded with a goal, and she is. Great work. The give and go. Got the ball back. 3-6-24 Western Bulldogs lead Essendon at 2 behinds, 2 points. That on the Choose Tap scoreboard. Counting down towards half-time, and great play again from Kirsten McLeod.
She's so fast. It's pretty impressive if anyone can keep up with her. So then she just got out on her bike and was off to the races and kicked it through the big sticks. It was nice.
We should mention Kirsten's first goal for the season, backing up from 5 behind so far this year. So she'll be
needed to redeem herself.
She'll be happy to break the drought.
Really happy that you reminded her of that fact as well. It's like the positivity of the goal wiped away from the rest of the scoring.
I'll go down there now and let her know.
Well, that is half-time in our round 14 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Clash. The Western Bulldogs, well, they got the only goal of the second term, and they lead 3-6-24. Essendon 2 behinds, 2 points. Goal scorers to half-time. Brooke Lachlan with her 2 first-quarter goals leads the way. Kirsten McLeod with her first goal of the season brings up the 3 to half-time for the Western Bulldogs. Bonnie, just your thoughts on the first half. I think, especially in that second quarter, both teams missing a few of their opportunities.
Yeah, definitely. I think the footy must be still a little bit slippery. The ground would be wet out there, so you can see that the cleanliness isn't there. But you know what? They're still surging it forward, the doggies, and we're getting it inside 50. I think we just need to try convert on those. And I think it's also Essendon's defence is quite unreal at the moment, and it's holding it up and making it quite congested. So it's a good first half. We're very excited for the second.
Well, Bonnie, we appreciate you joining us for commentary during this first half.
I think you'll have to come back.
Well,
Anthony,
definitely. Depending where you are come final time. We want to see you out on the field.
Well,
but
I would love to be out on the field.
If the recovery doesn't work well enough to get you back on the park by finals time for the Bulldogs, we might invite you back up to the commentary box.
Oh, look, if you'd have me, I'd love to come and hang out with you guys again.
That'd be great.
We'd have you.
Maybe
Don't worry
on
about
a warmer
that.
day.
Or inside, behind glass.
An enclosed box.
We might try and find you a...
Because if you ask for that, that means we'll get it.
All
so
right,
that's
all right.
okay. If we can make that happen.
I'll pull a few strings.
We might try and find a commentary box at Adcon Stadium during the women's final.
That's a lock. Don't worry about that. That's happening.
We're going to take a break here, Bonnie. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
We'll let you head down for the second half and cheer on the Bulldogs. But as part of our halftime today, we're going to recap and go back to the SEN hour, the VFL hour on Tuesday night, and we caught up with Geelong's Matty Kerrick.
Well, our first guest of this evening was a vice-captain with Carlton in their first couple of seasons of the AFLW. She's now at Geelong playing VFLW and AFLW for them and doing a damn fine job of it too. It is our pleasure to welcome one of the leaders of the Geelong Footy Club, Matty Kerrick, to the VFL Hour. Hello, Matty.
Hello, thanks for having me.
I'll just get you to turn your radio off for us there, Matty. We hear enough of our own voices at the best of times.
Yep, sorry, I'll just sort that out.
That's okay. We appreciate you
Is that
listening
better?
in. No, that's fantastic. Thank you.
No, it's through my hands-free, but I think this works a bit better. I'm home now, so I can get off that.
Beautifully done. Thank you very much for that.
We've got you loud and
No
clear,
worries.
Maddie. The win on the weekend, a great result for the Cats on home turf and getting a win against one of the finalists from last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really good game. We had a really even spread of contributors across the board, so it was a really good win for our team and probably one of the better performances we've put in this year. So that's really pleasing. Going into these last few games are pretty important for us, so good to be finding some form at this time of the year.
Is Rocky Cranston still talking about a mark in the first term?
No, she's pretty humble, Rocky, but yeah, it was a pretty special mark, so we all got around her for sure.
And especially with the goal assist as well. She's been in some fantastic form over the last month at VFL level.
Yeah, she's been playing well, Rock. She always puts in and tries hard, and certainly getting some reward for effort over on the weekend particularly. And she's been playing well. She's a pretty consistent contributor, so we love playing with her.
Looking at the Cats season so far, you're back within shot of the finals. You lost 4 of the first 5 games and have won 5 of the last 6. Can you pinpoint any of the changes that have occurred to the team over the last month and a half?
Well, certainly the first month was pretty tricky navigating the AFL girls coming back into the VFL program, and I think it just took us a few weeks to get comfortable as a group and find our flow as a team. And we've certainly we had a couple of close losses in that first patch of footy, and it took us a bit to find our feet. But I think each week we've just been building and developing and growing stronger as a team. And yes, I think just having a bit of continuity with playing with each other all together has really benefited us over the season.
Maddie Kerrick, I'm always fascinated by people's stories, especially if they've had to experience sort of the highs and the lows in very short period of time. You were recruited to Carlton for their inaugural season and the inaugural season of AFLW, and then just a couple of years later, despite being vice captain of the side, you find yourself sort of kicked to the curb, and your whole sort of football career took a different journey. Once that happened, I read a great article where you said, I just refused to even think about the possibility of AFLW again, and I just focused on playing VFLW and went about finding myself a team to play for. Just tell us a little bit about your road back to AFLW through Geelong's VFL, because it's been a fantastic, I suppose, partnership between you and them, mutually beneficial. It's been great for both.
Yeah, so after getting delisted from Carlton last year, I was looking for somewhere to play my VFL footy, and I knew 1 or 2 of the girls down at Geelong, and they spoke really highly of the program, and from what I'd seen, it looked like a good place I was going to be able to develop my footy, so I was pretty keen to go down there, and pretty excited when they still had a spot because it was like 6 rounds into the season or something when I switched across in VFL. And really, they've credit to them. They've got a really good program and set up and coaches and stuff. And I worked pretty hard and continued to develop my footy. And I was fortunate enough to get an AFL list spot with them and play in the AFL season, which was awesome. And being a part of that, first season at Geelong was pretty special, and the community down there really embraced us and stuff. So it was pretty awesome to be a part of that. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into it again soon for our next AFL season.
What was the thing that you felt like you needed to go away and work on? Because the season you had last year in the VFLW, you played 12 games for the Cats and were named in their best 8 times. Obviously, to pick yourself up after the disappointment of being let go by Carlton, what was the areas where you said, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on and this is where I'll get better to make sure that I get myself back on an AFLW list?
I think it was just mainly doing the things that I know I can do and doing them really well. So I'm not trying, I guess, to do... you don't have to do everything. You just focus on the areas of my game, playing as an inside mid, winning the footy, and being really hard at the contest and my pressure and things like that. Just bringing the things that I know I can do really well and executing them to a really high standard, and then trying to work on other areas of my game, getting a bit more footy on the outside and spread. And footy's great because there's so many different areas. You can always get better at different things. So you never run out of things to work on, which is one of the things that makes it so enjoyable.
And Maddie, what's it like this year, going through a VFL season and knowing you've got that security that you're on an AFL list for the 2020 season?
I suppose it's a little bit different, but that you can... but at the same time, every time I go out and play, I'm trying to play to the best of my ability and, trying to perform on the day to help the team as best I can. So in many ways it doesn't change a lot, but I suppose I just can really plan on the things that specifically I need to work on for AFL season. So I suppose it's I can probably just tailor the things that I'm practicing and working on a bit more and have more input from the coaches and what they're planning for the next season, as opposed to just driving it myself. I suppose I can have that more collaborative input from our coaches and stuff.
Talking about the coaches, a change at the top for VFLW level with Natalie Wood taking over the reins this year. What's the change been like this year?
Yeah, Nat's been really good. Obviously, Hoodie last year, and he's our AFL coach. He's a really good coach, but Nat's also a really good coach in her own right, and I think it's been good to see how she does things a little bit differently, how she does things in her own way, and I think the change is good, just to have a different voice, and how she sees things and explains things is always going to be. No one's going to explain things exactly the same as someone else. So it's just good to have a different voice and get a different perspective, just to help you learn more and grow.
Well, Maddie, the Cats are sitting 8th around the midway part of the ladder. Still a few games to go in this season. We really appreciate you sharing your story with us. We're rapt to see you doing so well at VFLW level and can't wait to see you back out there at AFLW level as well. Good luck this weekend against Melbourne Uni, and thanks for chatting to us on the VFL Hour.
No worries. Thank you.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men. Some are ladies. Yes! Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality. Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
Totally Workwear.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
Your hard yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
I'm a digital radio.
And I'm a digital TV. Now, you may remember when TV went digital.
Yes, and you got a lot more channels and a better picture.
Well, buying a digital radio is the same.
Exactly. I've got up to 30 extra radio stations, plus all your old faves, and I sound amazing.
Yeah, but I look amazing.
Yeah, but this is a radio ad, so no one can see you.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to hear this station like you have have never heard it before,
buy a digital radio.
Head into your nearest retailer and upgrade to digital.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Looks to be the last game of the first set. Almagro leading 5-3.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
As we welcome you back to VU Whitten Oval, and it is half-time in the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Clash between the Western Bulldogs, who are 3-6-24, and Essendon, who are 2 behinds. And it was great to hear from Maddie Kerrick. And, of course, the VFL Hour. Don't forget that VFL Hour on 11:16 SEN between 9 and 10. And all the best of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and also the Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Competition. We are into the business end of the season and very much looking forward to what these final rounds bring. There's a little bit of intrigue, and, of course, just a reminder too, the Grand Finals, which will be held the week before the AFL Grand Final, will be at Icon Park. So I'm sure tickets will go on sale in the week leading up. Anthony Stangetz.
They will be. So it'll be available via VFL.com.au. You can purchase your tickets for the final. So all the lead-up ones. So we encourage all our supporters to pre-purchase your tickets, and as we said, those links will be available via VFL.com.au to buy your tickets and get in early to avoid the queues, especially at Adcon Stadium.
The one I always look forward to, the story that goes up at about 5:30 on the Sunday before the finals start from you. Here's how the finals are looking for week one, so we can all get ready and get ourselves sorted out. But it is going to be a big run to the end of September. It's not all that far away. You think where the time's gone?
I know. It's unbelievable.
You especially. I've been away for 8 weeks. It's been fine.
And if you want to know all the permutations for the finals, head to VFL.com.au. The Run Home articles are currently featured up there. So if you want to find out, head to VFL.com.au. The Run Home for VFLW and VFL as well. And you can find out how they are... how it's all going to work out, especially after the round of VFLW today. We'll let you know who's still in the finals race, and it probably looks like Geelong, the only team outside of the top 6 that can make it now. But Pete, I'm going to dash and grab our special guest, Courtney Ugle, and I'm going to hand commentary to you to start off this third term here on VFL.com.au.
3-6-24, the Western Bulldogs. Essendon are 2 behinds as we get stuck into the second half. What can the Bombers do? Because it is the Bulldogs with the ascendancy. Nice little handball out. Moody working to Blackburn. Back to Moody, who just managed to release the ball in the nick of time and now send the Bulldogs inside 50. Sandrell has a flying shot at the goal, but it's going across the face and will be thrown in right next to the behind post. So 20-minute flat quarters, 10 degrees in Footscray at the moment. 31 seconds in. I tell you, if the Bulldogs get the next one, it's going to be really hard for the Bombers here. A 22-point margin as the ball to be tossed back in by the boundary umpire. A little bit of rain right at the start of the game. Bit of a downpour, but it's been okay since as we move into the twilight. Here's another chance for the Bulldogs, and there's another goal. Michaela Ward kicks it. And that is sending a statement right there. 4-6-30 now. The Bulldogs, Essendon are 2 behinds. A minute into the third quarter. And they just held the ball inside their 50. The pressure was on. And then, again, it's about this space that they managed to find. A little bit of the experience factor as well. As you can see, if you're watching our video stream, nicely done. Ward getting away from Kirby Hicks and kicking the goal. And the goal square was open. Anthony, a good start for the Bulldogs in this second half, which won't please our next special guest.
It won't. We've traded Bonnie Toogood in for Courtney Ugle for the second half. And a very good afternoon to you, Courtney.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We thought we'd bring you up to level 3, a bit better view from down on the sidelines.
Yeah, absolutely.
How have you seen the first half for the Bombers?
Yeah, look, first of all, Western Bulldogs, they're an exceptional side, and the way they move the ball is a real credit to them. And I think that we're just being a bit second to the ball, and our D2 decisions probably aren't where we want them to be at the moment. So yeah, that's probably why we are sitting where we are at the minute.
We were talking about it leading up to the half-time break. The Bombers probably missing a couple of opportunities inside forward 50 during that second term.
Yeah, and I think we were being quite reactive. So when it didn't go our way, we'll probably chase and tail a little bit. But it's exciting to see what we can do. So hopefully we can bring that this second half.
Well, Courtney, we welcome you to our broadcast for the second half. Thanks for giving up your time today, and we'll check in with you throughout this term. As the Bombers off the half-back line, taking it along on the outer side on the Doug Hawkins wing. The Bulldogs trying to push it forward again. Berry over the football. Handballs it towards the corridor, working hard for it. Heil trying to get it out. Alofi tackling fiercely on the outer side, and we'll have a ball up.
Now, I hope Anthony was kind to you, Courtney, and you took the lift up here to level 3 instead of taking the stairs, because you do have the crutches with you at the moment.
Yeah, I definitely think I'd still be on my way up if I had to go up the stairs. No, he was kind enough to let me through the lift, so that was nice of him.
Yeah, I was crossing the fingers that the lift was actually working, because I was seeing everyone taking the stairs. So it is Blackburn goes inside forward 50 again for the Bulldogs. Nearly a strong mark taken by Sandrell. Been lively today in the forward line. Good defensive kick by the
Alana
Bombers.
Barbara.
And she's. We were mentioning earlier in the call. It had been a second game baptism of fire for Barbara today as well. She's lined up on Blackburn at times, and also Brooke Lachlan down in that defensive half.
Yeah, she's incredible, and just a great product that has come through the Calder Cannons pathway. And I think in the game she has played, she's definitely made her mark, and she's been incredible.
It must be great to see a few of those cannons out there today. Felicity Theodore and Georgia Patrikios as well, playing for the Bombers.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. It's great for us, but it's also very exciting, especially coming into the AFLW for 2020. It's great to be able to showcase what they can do, because I do believe that they can play at the highest level.
Yeah, Georgia Patrikios in her first game about a fortnight ago, 20 disposals in her first game. Fortunately for those Bombers fans, they got one look at her, and then she wasn't there the following week for the AFL Women's Academy camp. But great to have her back out there for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
As we see here, the ball into the middle of the ground, and the Bulldogs are looking to take it away again. They've got the breeze in this third quarter. And Guest takes a sliding mark. Edge of the square, defensive side will kick up the line. There's a pack of players around this footy. Heil did well initially in the contest, then picked up the footy, was tackled, still managed to release it though. And Molan for the Bulldogs though coming through, and the mark's taken at centre half forward. Lachlan, who kicks inside the 50. It's an excellent delivery of the football. Gee, they've done that well. Michaela Ward will have a shot directly in front and will kick from 35 out. I just moved it quickly. And Lachlan again, as we see, a few players getting onto the goal line. 4:6:30 the Western Bulldogs before this kick. Essendon 2 behinds. There's the kick going, got there! Another goal to the Bulldogs. Almost 6 minutes gone in this third quarter. 5:6:36 plays, 2 behinds on the Choose Tap scoreboard. And they just keep going on their merry way, Anthony.
They have, and it's probably been one of the differences today, Courtney, just the options to go on, the experience in their forward 50 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said earlier, Bulldogs move the ball really, really well, and when they open up the ground like that, they definitely look dangerous. And again, we're just second to the ball, but Bulldogs have used the ball really well and been able to convert.
Just going back to you chatting about the up-and-coming talent, you mentioned the Calder Cannons in the NAB girls competition. There's a nice overlap that's going on because we start off the season with the NAB Girls League, which overlaps with the Swiss Wellness VFLW, which then obviously has flow-on effects to the AFLW. It's really well structured to be able to get that talent moving through, I think, a bit quicker than what you see on the boys and men's side.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that also stems from what they get through the Calder Cannons pathway. We've seen girls that haven't been in a Calder Cannons program that have come through and maybe not struggled, but it's been a little bit difficult for them to adapt to the new elite changes, but the Calder Cannons have done that really well because of what they've had previously. So they've slotted in really nicely, and just even with their footy ability, they've slotted in really well there.
Great tackle out there. The Bombers at half back again. And Shea Audley making sure her opponent was going absolutely nowhere. She's going to run Lachlan into the ground now, tackles her to the ground. Good ferocity at the football. We'll have a ball up right in the middle here at VU Whitten Oval. Attention starts to turn to the drafts in October. The Combine names announced last week for the National Combine.
Again, 50-metre penalty here.
Are we up to 3 or 4 for the day, Pete?
I think it's up to 3.
So Audley, we just mentioned, kicks inside forward 50 now, and opportunity for the Bombers to go back. And Quigley has kicked 7 goals for the season. In representative in the team of the week the last couple of weeks. Goes in short. Not able to get it to a teammate in Collier on that occasion, and the Bulldogs clear to this broadcast side wing. Meeting the ball. Good work once again, that time by Theodore, in for her first game today as 23rd player. Good punch away by Warburton. Ball still in dispute on this broadcast side wing. Opportunity for the Bombers. Great work by Collier. Holding the ball in off the legs. It was unfortunate for Theodore on that occasion. The free kick will go the way of the Bulldogs.
Or maybe it isn't. The field umpire coming in to talk to the boundary umpire. It's going to be a throw-in.
Might have gone over the line when it came off her leg, they might have thought. We'll have a boundary throw-in. Opportunity now. About 60 metres out from goal. Boundary throw-in once more. Nance Corn put the ball down. Good work by the Bombers, but the Bulldogs clear to this broadcast side wing. Bouncing football. Can they get to the ball in time? Ward just sees it over the line. Work by Hicks on a tail, and we'll see a boundary throw.
We're seeing on our replay screen here. Oh, no, I think that was out in the full. I think the boundary umpire was right. I'm just seeing on the replay again.
Yeah.
I'm going to back the boundary umpire in this time over the field umpire.
Hey, look, we'll take what we can get.
Yeah, certainly.
Not that we're picking and choosing between our umpires, of course.
So ball in dispute, broadcast side wing. Going in hard for the football that time. Gavalis. Nance Corn. Handball's over the top. Looking for Fogus. Quigley, a long way from home. They keep the ball in play. And that ball from Ashley Cooper out of bounds, and we'll see a free kick this time.
Just a question just about how the process works. So in an ideal world, you'd be out there running around as well. We're injured at the moment. But in terms of the team, obviously get to the end of the VFLW season. What's the sort of pathway looking like for the team in terms of having a bit of a break and then getting stuck into pre-season for AFLW?
Yeah, so probably very similar to many clubs out there. So we'll go through our exit interviews process, and the girls will definitely get a well-deserved break. So probably they'll be, required to do nothing. And then, we'll be in touch over the next coming weeks, and, dates won't be put out until later on in the year, because we really do want the girls to have a break, especially for the ones looking like they could potentially be playing in the AFLW. We'll be making sure that, they're not doing too much.
So is it roughly sort of for the AFL side, do they start training sort of November, December?
AFLW?
Yeah.
They will. So the draft is looking like it'll be in October, and then I'm assuming that, their pre-season will start November.
Yeah, okay. Because there is that time, because there's so many different seasons going on throughout the year.
Absolutely.
The chance to actually grab breaks and stagger them out across the season, even within seasons as well, because it's a big workload that you've got.
Absolutely, and our head coach Major, it really pushes that. If we've got a bye, he really pushes us to take a break, to have a bit of a breather away from footy, and I think that's really important.
And Courtney, we'll get you to, over the next 2 quarters, to pinpoint a few of the players in this side that might be putting their hand up for AFLW selection come October, because our audience is always interested in who the up-and-comings are. And I know the Georgia Patrikios, who just had the football then, MVP at the AFLW Under-18 Championships, was the Vic Metro MVP as well. She's certainly going to be one of the names up towards the top of the list come draft night. So
yeah, look, her coming off of the state championship carnival with the MVP accolade, that's a credit to her, and she's just elite in the way she moves and her ball use. She's really composed, and she plays footy like a really mature aged person, so I really hope that she goes high in the draft, and I have no doubt that she will.
I know you haven't been on the training track for a while now, but having those players come in, what have they been able to add to the side, not only on game day but training during the week?
Obviously, they're the younger, with the Calder Canning girls coming through there at the younger age of the group. They definitely bring that enthusiasm, the good laughs. They're so mature for their age, so that you can't tell that. But they've been great to have, and we also have taken things away and learnt from them. So they've been just a great asset to outside.
Now Quigley was inside 50, and he kicked towards goal. The kick was smothered. It's over the boundary line. Still deep into attack for the Bombers, who trail 36-2. Cold conditions at Whitten Oval, but the rain has stopped as Ferris getting in there for the Bulldogs, trying to extract the footy. Still in a dangerous position here if you're a Bulldog supporter. I guess there as well. And the umpire will come in and throw the ball up. The lights are on at Whitten Oval. They've been on all day. But as we move into the evening, ball tossed back up. The Rucks go at it. And should be a clearing kick here for the Bulldogs. Wilds. Oh, just pitches inside the boundary line. Oh, that was cleverly done. And then the cavalry arrived. It went over. That was nicely done. Nice pitching. Just inside the boundary line. And it just held up. It didn't trickle over, because that could have been problematic.
Hoping that we can lock it down here in our forward 50 and try and convert and put a score on the board.
Certainly locked down inside your 50 a lot more this quarter than what we've seen for the rest of the game today. And now a chance to maybe get some reward for the effort of locking the ball in, but it's going to be difficult. Wilds gets hands to it for the Bulldogs. It's right there near the boundary line again, and it will go over. We'll have it thrown in again. Ogos seeing the ball over for the Western Bulldogs, who lead this 5-6, 36-2 behinds. We've played almost 15 minutes, so 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. A real boost for the Bombers if they're able to nail one here. Nanda had the ruck all to herself, but it's McLeod kicking off the ground, trying to get the ball outside 50. We're heading to the Doug Hawkins wing, trying to pick it up again, but just struggling to find it. Frew coming through for the Bombers. It's hot footy to win at the moment, and there's a Bulldogs ball. It's cleared outside the 50. It's near the boundary line, and on centre wing we will have the ball thrown in. 36 playing 2. 5 minutes, just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
The boundary throw in on the outer side. How's I know the last month has been on the sidelines with injury, but captaincy this year, how's that sat with you?
Yeah, look, that was an absolute great honour, coming in from WA last year, to then be voted in by my peers was incredible. Yeah, great honour, and obviously I do wish I was out there, but I can play a different role off field now and just see it out for the rest of the season.
How has that role changed, and how are you utilised on game day now?
Yeah, well, I kind of made the decision from the start that I didn't want to be involved in a coaching area. Kind of just wanted to be the one in the background and having those intimate chats with the girls, and if I can pick up on something. So really trying to stay in the background and let the playing group do what they need to do. Acting captain Simone Nolder has just been incredible. So really trying to leave the girls, the playing group, to do what they need to do and take a step back.
Yeah, she's been great this season, averaging 26 hit-outs a game and been one of the mainstays, playing 11 games this year. So fantastic form by her.
She has been incredible, and she's taken the game to the next level. And when we talk about draft prospects, she is definitely one of those. So I'd love to see her get an opportunity in the AFLW, because I think she would be just incredible.
It's really that difficult situation for the Essendon Football Club, because you'd love to hold on to those players at VFL level, but chances are there'll be a number of players from this side in October move on to other AFLW clubs and potentially other VFLW clubs, as we've seen in the past from different players.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we want to provide a space where they can learn, grow and develop, and if they can get them through to an AFLW side, that's a massive win for Essendon Football Club.
So we've got the ball here for the Bulldogs. They're into attack, and there's going to be a free kick. Which way is it going? It's going to go the Bombers' way. Nolder did take it out of the ruck, had it all to herself, but might have copped a push as well, as the kick just beats the initial pack, and the Bulldogs with a chance to take it away. Ferris kicking up towards attacking 50. Spark got hands to it, couldn't complete the mark. Blackburn just paddling it in front and picked up again by Spark, who's putting it into the pocket. It's going out of bounds on the full. 5-6-36 the Western Bulldogs. Essendon 2 behinds. We've got just over 2 minutes to play in this third quarter. But one other thing that you mentioned there, of course, is coming from WA. We obviously get a good look at women's footy at Victoria, but what's it like over there in Western Australia? Because we don't necessarily get a lot of it until we see the AFLW sides.
Yeah, it's different. I feel like because we get obviously a lot of dry conditions over there, we really like to play an open brand of football, whereas here I feel like it's really congested. Coming from Swan District's footy club, to Essendon, it's great. We've got great people involved, and female footy is only getting bigger, and I definitely think that Western Australia and what we're trying to do, we're going to be on par with the VFLW here. So it's very exciting. So it's really good to see the growth over there in Western Australia as well.
Well, dare I say it? Dare I bring it up, Anthony? Controversially, perhaps. But there's all this talk about bringing State of Origin to the AFL, but I think it would work really well in women's footy, because you are starting to see that from all over the country, not just the traditional footy states, but also Queensland, New South Wales and the Northern Territory.
Yeah. Look, I think just the female footy space is just growing, and especially with the AFLW coming in, I think we would love to have an AFLW aligned with every AFL club. So I think we'd love to focus on trying to get that in first. But yeah.
Because there'd be room in the calendar for it anyway. Well, that's a discussion, I'm sure, Anthony, for another time. Notice he hasn't said anything for a little while. We've got 30 seconds remaining in this third quarter. It is the Western Bulldogs 5-7-37. They've added 2 goals, 1. It's got it to no score. Looks like they might be able to add to it here, the Bulldogs, because they are deep into attack, and Jolly's at the bottom of this pack trying to extract it. No one's going anywhere in a hurry. The umpire putting the whistle away for a period of time and then saying, give it to me. So we've got 7 seconds left in the third quarter, and the Bulldogs will take a commanding lead into three-quarter time. 5-7-37 to 2 behinds. And so another productive quarter for the Western Bulldogs, but for Essendon, just the 2 behinds on the board. And Ward and Lachlan with 2 goals each, and McLeod the single for the Bulldogs, Anthony.
That's the end of the third term. And Courtney, just your thoughts on that term from the Bombers' perspective.
Oh yeah, look, probably a little bit disappointing that we weren't able to put a score on the board, but what I love about this team is that we don't give up. We'll keep pushing on to the very end, and Majors harped on since the start of the season is that we don't necessarily care too much about the scoreboard. It's how we play our brand of footy. So I know that the girls will have that fight in their belly to come out and just continue going into that final siren.
Well, we look forward to seeing what the Bombers can produce in the final term. It is a Bulldogs lead by 35 points, 5-7-37 to Essendon, 2 behind, 2 points. We're going to take a quick break, and then after the break we'll be back with the final term here on VFL.com.au and SEN2.
Nature's an amazing place. It's a perfect balancing act, thriving with life. Some of which we don't even see. Like the billions of microorganisms that help keep nature in balance. At Swiss, the quest continues.
At Totally Workwear, we kit out the brickies, the chippies, the foremen, the tradies. Did we say foremen? They're not all men, some are ladies. Work in an office, retail, healthcare, hospitality? Here's where you'll find all your workwear. Yeah, totally. Totally Workwear have got you covered with the best brands, best value and best service. Totally Workwear. Get what you want and get back to work.
For club interviews and all the news from the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL and Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, don't miss the VFL Hour during the Sporting Capital with Jack Heverin, Tuesdays from 9 p.m. on 1116 SEN.
But it's your job. We'll be fine.
Mate, just because everybody seems like they're doing it doesn't actually mean that they are doing it.
Help your kids understand that betting and sport don't have to go together.
The ads don't always tell you the risks, yeah?
Before you have the talk, check lovethegame.vic.gov.au. Authorised by VRGF Melbourne.
Don't miss a moment of the Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Find SEN2 on your digital radio today for live coverage of the match of the round. The Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL. Live on SEN2 DAB+.
I'm a digital radio. To help explain why it's time to update your old radio, with me is my friend Digital TV.
Hi.
Where you go?
Remember when us TVs went digital?
Everyone does. Get to the point.
Suddenly you got lots more channels for free.
Yes.
Well, it's the same with digital radio.
When you buy a digital radio, you can get all your favourite stations plus up to 30 extra ones, playing all kinds of music, live sport and talk.
That's pretty great.
It's really great.
All you have to do is head into your nearest retailer
or check out digitalradioplus.com.au
and upgrade to digital.
Your Hard Yakka Totally Workwear VFL Club needs you to show your support. Buying a VFL Club membership helps support your local team and provides great discounts and match access. The VFL gives you the chance to get in the coaches' huddle and enjoy kick-to-kick on the field, whilst kids under 15 get in free. Get involved in the VFL this season. Head to vfl.com.au/membership to find out what membership offers are available at your club in 2019.
Love your sport? Then you'll love SEN.
Stuart Appleby has come from 7 strokes behind.
And you'll find it on digital radio. Simply scroll to SEN, Melbourne's home of sport.
Streaming live through VFL.com.au. This is VFL Live.
Where it is 3/4 time here at Whitten Oval, VU Whitten Oval, and it is 5-7-37, the Western Bulldogs, Essendon 2 behinds. As the huddles break up, and the final term won't be too far away from starting. Anthony Stangetz.
Yes, joined for the final term by Courtney Ugle once again, the skipper of the Essendon VFL women's team. And we're just chatting off air, Courtney. First time injury and rehabilitation player for you.
Yeah, I've been playing for about 8-9 years now, and yeah, this is my first injury, so it's definitely been a different transition for me. I've never been a rehab girl, but coming to trainings and looking at the girls who are in rehab, you do feel sorry for them, but you don't understand until you are in that position. So, really take my hat off to the girls that have gone through, long time, having a long time off during injuries. Really take my hat off to them because it's very different.
Yeah, it can often be, and you see them around football clubs, often be that little group that's left off to the side, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also great, you know, that there are some girls that younger girls that I've really connected with and gelled with, who are also in rehab. So it's also been great to get to know those girls on a personal level as well.
Now we must also ask about the cheer squad downstairs as well, because they were giving you a bit of a cheer on at 3/4 time.
Yeah, they knew that I was feeling a bit nervous coming up here, but yeah, it's my partner Alex and a couple of the girls. So I think they're stoked for me as well.
They'll be happy that
they were cheering you on, but make sure they get home and tonight you watch the replay.
No, that's it. Lisa Williams, who was our captain last year as well, was down there. So she's not playing this season, as you know, she's taking the next step with her life, and she's having a baby. So it's really great to see her still be very heavily involved in the club and getting around to the game, so it's really great to see.
Ashley Cooper getting the ball inside the 50. Chance here for the Bombers to get their first chance. Through. No, it's going to go out of bounds, but it will be thrown in. About 10 metres around from the behind post, although the boundary umpire will come in a step inside. So a real chance in the corridor for the Bombers inside 50 to get a goal on the board. 5-7-37 the Western Bulldogs. Essendon 2 behind. We're into the final quarter.
Federica Frew has been absolutely outstanding for us, and when we talk about, again, AFLW prospects, she's definitely one of them.
Well, here's a chance now because a free kick. Celia McIntosh was taken high and will have the free kick. And we'll take the shot. The shot at goal will be about 20 metres out. Plenty of goal face to look at as the light's taking full effect here at VU Whitten Oval. With a chance at the first for the Bombers. McIntosh gives it everything. And across the face and through for one behind. So 3 behind Essendon. 5-7-37 the Western Bulldogs. 2 minutes gone in this final term on the Choose Tap scoreboard, Anthony.
Courtney, we mentioned the influence of the younger players that have come into the lineup, but what's it been like to have an experienced player like Cecilia McIntosh come into the team this year? What's she added to the Bombers?
She has been exceptional, and you know, with her experience that she has in footy, but just in an elite, you know, being an elite athlete herself, you know, I've been drawn, to her, and we, as a young side, definitely have lent towards her for her knowledge, especially on field as well. So she's been incredible, and you know, whenever she hangs the boots up, I definitely can see her involved as a coach, because she's too good not to have.
Ball inside forward 50. Theodore couldn't get it past the block of the Bulldogs. Here's another opportunity as Barber goes goalwards. Now kick towards Stepnell. Lalofi on the last line for the Bulldogs. Ball still inside forward 50 for Essendon. Can they hold it in there? Very under pressure. Patrikios round the corner, straight down the corridor. Here's a chance now for the Bombers. Goes round 1, goes round 2. Fruit got it to her boot, but Lalofi again on the last line. And you just talked about Frew just before, and I think she just gave a glimpse of what she is capable of.
Yeah, she comes from a soccer background, and hopefully we converted her and she stays in the AFL system. But she's very exciting. She looks so natural, and she came into the side, and we didn't have to teach her, actually how to play football. That came very natural to her, and again, just comes from an elite background, but she's just a great person as well. So, you know, for her to, if she was given an opportunity to get onto an AFLW list, that's a massive win for whichever club decides to, you know, give her a chance. But yeah, she's incredible, and we're actually really lucky to have her here.
There's the ball here, still trapped in by the Bombers. They're still into attack. Chance at that first goal. High ball, and it's corn. And now McIntosh kicking high ball inside the 50. No mark taken. It was a chance for Guest. Couldn't take the mark, but plenty of Bombers just swarming around this one. Oh, no. And the Bulldogs player taken high. And that was a nasty. He might be Guest again, Anthony. He copped a high hit, and I think there's a report. There is. It's quite rare that you see a report. Madeline Collier, the player who has been reported, and is that front-on contact.
Yeah, it wasn't the hip and shoulder. It was just the front on contact on that one.
Oh yeah, look, I can imagine Maddie Collier would be very disappointed with that, and by no means does she ever go in wanting to ever hurt anyone. She is another an elite athlete who's come from GWS and had a great experience on an AFLW list, and the way she goes about her business, she's a hard player, and her work rate is incredible. So yeah, I could imagine she'd be pretty disappointed with that one.
Yeah, you probably saw that she had the opportunity to either go the big side bump or go the frontal contact, and elected not to go to the side bump, because I think that probably could have been where more damage in that incident could have occurred. So she probably made that decision to go front on rather than on the side, which is probably a good one on that occurrence. So the ball on the outer side.
We've had a couple of throws in a row here. 2 free kicks given away either way.
Getting dark here at VU Whitten Oval. 10 degrees on the big scoreboard. I know you commented earlier in the broadcast, Pete, about the size of the lettering. Certainly don't need your glasses here today at VU Whitten Oval. 37-3. And the Bombers get their first goal on the board as the Bulldogs go forward. Good defensive effort that time by Warburton again. It's a birthday girl, Warburton, today.
Yeah, it's
as
her
well.
birthday today. Yeah, the girl's getting around her.
So kick long towards goal by Blackburn, off line and off to the left-hand side and out of bounds, and we'll see a boundary throw-in. So 37 plays 3. The run home for both of these two teams. Western Bulldogs big clash next week, taking on Richmond and then Darebin in the final round. And for the Bombers, Collingwood and Williamstown on the run home. They're all conquering Collingwood, sitting on top of the ladder at the moment. So they've got the bye this round as the ball heads over the boundary line once again, and we'll have another boundary throw-in.
A rivalry just as intense at VFLW level as in AFL and VFL level.
Oh yeah, look, we like to just bring it, to the opposition every week. But yeah,
look, when you say Collingwood versus Essendon, though.
Yeah, look, like I said, we just like to go out and be as hard and rough as we can in all within the rules of the game and the spirit of the game. But yeah, you always want to rough them up and.
I like the thinking though.
I do. We'll ask you in a moment, Courtney, your just thoughts on some of those opposition teams in the finals, because there's been a couple of them that you've challenged and you've had some pretty good results against. Melbourne Uni being one of those teams who had a good win today up against Geelong, but round 8, that was a victory to the Bombers going your way.
Yeah, look, like I said, we focus a lot on how we want to play our brand of footy, and we don't let the opposition frighten us too much. And if we come away and have played great footy, then that's a massive tick for us. But last week when we'd burst St Kilda, a great side who are currently sitting second, it made the girls believe that we are competitors and we can compete at this level.
Good goal. Another goal's been kicked for the Bulldogs.
That went the way of Blackburn. Blackburn off the step from 45 metres out. We'll see that on our video replay. You are watching on VFL.com.au and SEN2 as well. Anthony Stanger's, Peter Mercado and Courtney Ugle on our broadcast today. And there is the replay of Ali Blackburn putting through her second goal of the season, just in her third game of the year, and puts through the 6th goal for the Western Bulldogs. They move on to 6-7-43. Essendon, those 3 behinds at 3 points. And I did notice last week that it really was a unique brand of football that the Bombers brought out in that first term, and it did take the Southern Saints a number of, or it took them a while to adjust.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we can play, great footy, and I'll back my team in, every day of the week. It was very exciting for us, and I think once we have that belief that we can play and compete at this level, that's really important. But it was evident in the way we carried ourselves and played footy last week, so that was very exciting for us.
Ball back inside forward 50 for the Bulldogs. You've just tuned in. Major goal scorers today, Michaela Ward and Brooke Lachlan with 2 apiece. Lachlan kicking 2 in the first term. Michaela Ward 2 in the third term. And Blackburn and McLeod, the other goal scorers for the Bulldogs.
Oh, another 50 metres here. Just creeping over the mark. Boy, red hot on it, the umpires today. And so, an opportunity again for the Bombers. You might as well just keep on going. Although it might need to be a ball bounce at some stage. Hosking, who runs into trouble, and Pink holding the footy. Just kept going, tucked the ball under the arm and took off, which is the right way to play it. It does make it hard for the umpire to say, okay, that's where the 50 goes to, and then you actually got to run and bounce it occasionally. Bit of a clash here on centre wing. A chance again for the Bulldogs. Just putting their foot down in this final term. Long ball, good mark. And again, they've just built it up beautifully here. The Bulldogs at half forward. It's a long kick. It's a high ball. Getting hands to it. Here's Sarah Jolly. And again, being held, but has a shot at the goal. Bounces through for a behind. So we've got just 9 minutes remaining in the game. And 6:44, Bulldogs, Essendon 3 behinds.
Essendon captain Courtney Ugle with us in this final term of this round 14 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Clash. We were talking about the rehab group. The player that just kicked it in, Kendra Heil, spent a fair bit of time in that rehab group over the last couple of seasons, but it must be great to have her back out there on the park.
Oh, look, she's incredible, and changing positions, coming up at the back end of the ground has been great for her. I think she showcased some of her best footy. I think she had a great season. And when we talk about people coming out of really severe injuries and coming out on top, she's definitely one of those people, and someone I've lent on over the last couple of weeks. So no, it's really good to see her come out of that and just play a great season of football.
The ball still inside that forward 50 arc for the Bulldogs. As we mentioned, they'll, with today's win, move back up into fourth spot. It'll be a huge clash next week when they take on Richmond, third versus fourth on the ladder. A potential early look at a finals match between those two teams. Great work on the lead. Michaela Ward plays on quickly, goes out wide, finds her teammate. Georgia Startheth will line up from directly in front. Let's see whether she can, just the one game this season, kick one goal, whether she can keep up her average. Let's see whether it's distanced just off to the right-hand side and through for a behind. So first blemish of her career with the Bulldogs. She's kicked 1-1 from her 2 games. And the Bulldogs moving on to 6-9-45. Essendon 3 behinds at 3 points. Just over 12 and a half minutes gone in this final term.
I'll ask you, Anthony, in a moment about ladder positions, because after this game, that does complete the round of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's, and heading towards the finals, things are starting to tighten up. A good tackle here by Lachlan, and the ball will be thrown up in attack here, just inside the 50 for Essendon. 45 plays 3. The Bulldogs going to win this encounter, so if we put that into play, Anthony, and tell us what the ladder looks like, and also the matches to come next week, because you mentioned some of them, and there's some interesting clashes to come as Nance Corn just trying to clear the area. Good mark. Quigley has a point of the square defensive side. Little chipping ball, not quite finding its target, but they can get some run going here, the Bombers. The kick from half back up towards half forward, and a free kick given the way. We'll go the Bulldogs' way this time. Low feet to take it. And the kick going up to the edge of the square on centre wing. Falls in the hands of Audley. The kick smothered. Back towards the boundary line now. A bit of front on contact again. And there will be a free kick going to the Western Bulldogs. And a 50-metre penalty as well. Boy, they've been hot on that today. And so Sandrell will make her way down the ground. Would almost be inside 50. Waiting for the umpire. Yep. The mark is set at 48. Oh, the kick, though, should be turned over. Oh, no. Bombers play couldn't take the mark. And there's still a chance here. The Bulldogs, the kick heading towards goal is going to be another behind. 6-10-46. Plays 3 behinds. 5.5 minutes to play. How's that ladder looking, Anthony, after the round?
Yeah, the ladder will see Western Bulldogs back up to 4th spot, dropping Hawthorn to 5th and Melbourne Uni back down to 6th. and will also mean that the Cats are one game outside of the top 6. And the Casey Demons are 2 games and percentage outside the top 6 as well. So we might just be down to the last 7 teams in regards to final spots.
All right, so talking about Geelong then, who do they play next week?
Well, looking at the fixture, and Geelong take on Williamstown at Downer Oval. Big clash next week with Southern Saints taking on Hawthorn. Casey take on NT Thunder. Richmond, as we mentioned, taking on the Western Bulldogs. Collingwood and Essendon, the grudge match at Victoria Park on the Saturday at midday. And Carlton taking on the Darebin Falcons.
Okay, so the race continuing. VFL.com.au for all the latest information as Blackburn puts a behind on the board, 6:11:47. They've kept it inside their attacking 50 for the most part of this quarter, which has 4.5 minutes to play, and it looks like it's going to happen again. Ball going to the top of the goal square. No mark taken. Lachlan picking it up, immediately ridden into the turf. Lost a handle on the footy, but no one can get clear from it. The 3 Bombers players trying to extract it in the end. Patricos, one of those players who just kicks it away, but straight into Bulldogs' hands. It is dangerous at the footy at the moment. Betts getting hands to it for the Western Bulldogs. Almost said Footscray again. So it happens when you do 2 games and they've got different names. As into the path here of Spark. Just lost a handle on it. Now, can the Bombers get some sort of relief here? Every time they kick the ball outside 50, it comes straight back in. Di Matteo picked it up. That's better from the Bombers as they kick up towards centre wing. Oh, there's going to be a free kick. Is it going to be... Which way is it going?
It's going to be downfield. It was taken too high.
I thought it would be a downfield free kick, but...
No, it is a Bombers free kick though.
It is. It's Audley who's going to take it. The kick up towards centre wing. No mark taken. Hoskin coming through. Just got rid of a Bulldogs opponent. Focus. Kick up towards half forward. Now they're building here, the Bombers. Stepnell's long kick inside the 50. No mark taken. McIntosh will get the handball out. Around the body goes Nance Corn into the pocket. And it's going to be cut off again. And another foray forward for the Bombers, not resulting in a score. 6:11:47, the Bulldogs, Essendon 3 behinds. 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Lalofi's been a rock down in defence for the Bulldogs in today's game, but here's another opportunity for the Bombers. Long to the top of the square. Here's a chance at ground level. What can the Bombers do and conjure up? The umpire says, give the ball to me and we'll have a ball up. 7.5 minutes gone, final term. We're going to get that goal, Courtney, for the Bombers.
Yeah, we'd love to put one on the score before the final siren sounds.
Moody bit the big tap down. Comes out wide now. McKay. Here's a chance again for the Bombers. They keep the ball in play. They've got the numbers around the footy. They kick inside forward 50 now. And the mark taken, that was by Sandrell. So still inside the forward 50 for the Bombers. As the Bulldogs go wide to the outer side. Jolly first to the football. Handball's over the top. Bulldogs transition play has been strong today as the ball goes out of bounds on the full. An opportunity under 2 minutes left in this game. Here's a chance for the Bombers. Off the half back line. A kick in short and the kick intercepted by Jolly. She plays on quickly, goes long inside forward 50. Spark on the lead in towards the pocket. Hicks right on her tail. Centering kick by the Bulldogs looking for Ward. Good numbers. Audley at ground level. Kicks it out wide. Just over 1 minute left in this contest. Here's another chance for the Bombers. They go long on the Doug Hawkins wing side of the ground. Bulldogs first to the football. Strong tackling quickly on the outer side. And we will see a ball up inside the last 60 seconds of this clash. Bulldogs lead by 44 points. Comes to the back of the pack. Nance Corn slung off the football. The Bulldogs go long inside forward 50 looking for Ward once more. Got to the front spot. Lachlan now in her hands taken to ground. And 30 seconds left in this contest. We'll have a ball up 25 metres out from the Bulldogs' goal. from the ball up. Tap down. Great work by Audley. Brings it out wide to this broadcast side. Alofi over the football. Could have been held without it. That's what the umpire thought. So we tick down towards...
Oh, dear. Another one. Well, might have a kick. We'll have a kick after the siren, definitely here.
So, Alofi, chance to add her first of the season. Let's see what you can do. A great defensive role for the Bulldogs today. Can she add the 7th goal for the Bulldogs after the siren? Taking her time with her approach. Socks go up. Shoelaces done.
Doesn't help us because we've got a minute to go.
We'll continue on with our video stream watches. Alofi, great work on the last line, and the Bombers deny a final score, but it is the Western Bulldogs. 6-11-47. They have defeated Essendon 3 behinds, 3 points. Goal scorers today, Lachlan with 2, Michaela Ward with 2, and singles each to Blackburn and McLeod, bringing to an end round 14 of Swiss Wellness VFL women's action. Courtney, your thoughts on that final term?
Oh yeah, look, it was disappointing, especially coming off of a great game last week. We know that we can play great footy, but look, we won't harp on that too much or dwell on that. We'll just look at banding together and regrouping and getting together and making sure that we're finishing off the season as strong as we can.
Pete, we're going to say goodbye to our SEN listeners who are leaving us on SEN2.
We will, and we'll catch them again next week for VFL action.
And we have farewelled them now. Our broadcast on VFL.com.au are looking at the final term highlights from the whole match highlights, I'm told. So we'll keep an eye on those on VFL.com.au. As we mentioned, the match next week will be on VFL.com.au, Essendon versus Richmond for the VFL men's competition. And then we'll obviously be back in a couple of weeks' time with the Hawthorn versus Collingwood final clash for our video stream audience. Courtney, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast today. There's always a place in our broadcast team for you, as you mentioned.
It's a hell of a debut. I mean, this is impressive sort of stuff.
Not going to lie, I was a little bit nervous, but when these opportunities come up, you don't say no. So, thanks for having me, and I better get down to the girls and get around them. But it's been an honour. So thank you. Bringing
the cheer squad too. I mean, that's good. The ultimate single support. I love it as well.
And just quickly for our listeners, especially for those Bombers fans, I know they're not going to see you back out in the park for the Bombers this year. But just a quick update on your recovery and next steps.
Yeah, look, I've got a CT weight-bearing scan next Friday, so if all goes well there, my rehab process will start, so it'll take me over the next couple of months. But really just looking at one step at a time, and trying to put myself in the best position to get myself right, and physically and mentally. So yeah, I'm still looking, like a couple of months away before I get back to full strength, but definitely be ready for a pre-season. So, yeah.
Well, we definitely look forward to your return for next year's VFL season, and really appreciate your time on the broadcast today.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Courtney Ugle, the captain of the Essendon Bombers, joining us on the broadcast today. Pete Mercado, thanks to you as well.
Cameo.
Yes.
Is it one out of one for me for the season? Really?
We'll have to get you back for finals, Pete.
Well, yeah, okay, we can do that. I'll be ready. I'll be ready for the granny. Just needed the one hit out, and then I'm ready for the grand final, Anthony. That's how this works, doesn't it?
It certainly does. I'm just going to, the magic of technology, just try and get a quick update on the ladder, just to see where the Western Bulldogs are sitting at the end of the round 14. We did mention that they've moved back up to fourth spot, and they have. And amazingly, they're just 3% behind Richmond on the ladder. So massive percentage boost for Footscray men's team in the VFL and the women's team as well.
Have a look at that magnificent view of the city tonight. Looks absolutely fantastic on our live stream. It's been magnificent. It's been great to be a part of it, Anthony. And the Swiss Wellness VFL women's stream will be back in 2 weeks' time.
It will. Thanks to Morgan pressing all the buttons and bringing us live to air today. We will be back in a fortnight's time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back in a couple of weeks.